What is going on, everybody? It is Craig, and I'm back. I don't have anything to open or unbox, but I gotta talk about something for a couple of minutes. Something that to me was freaking awesome. You see the thumbnail for this video, dude. I'm about to do a wrestling video. I think Uncle Ed would be very, very happy, very, very proud of that. But this past Saturday, I was asked by a friend of mine, I guess by my sister actually, not by a friend of mine, if I wanted to go to Summer Slam, to a friend of a friend. She got a suite hookup, a free suite hookup. And I'm like, I prefer watching stuff at home most of the time like that, just because, I had no idea what it'd be like there. But I knew she really wanted to go, and not a lot of our friends are wrestling related that weren't already there in a different place. So I said yes, and I am not noble by any means, because this is one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Because we get there, we got the parking hookup too, so we get there, and then we get out of the car. We're there about 2:30 because 3 o'clock outside, sort of a pre-show was happening. Not like the pre-show, but you had Big E, you had I believe Wade Barrett and Michael Cole were out there talking. So we got a car at 3. We walked over. We watched that for about an hour. And about 4 o'clock, we went inside. The event started. It started at 6. It actually started a little bit later than 6 after all pomp and circumstance. But figured, you know what? Never been a suite before. Maybe it's good to go in and claim your spots. Why not? And so we go inside. Great suite. Walk in. We're actually the first 2 people in the suite, other than the host of the suite. Not the host who got the free thing. They came shortly after, but just the host. He was there. Asked if we need anything. Like, no. My sister goes to the bathroom, and I actually grabbed like a mozzarella stick, and I'm just walked over, put my stuff down, and I'm just sitting there with a mozzarella stick, and some people walk in, and you try not to be too, but you get out of my periphery, I see 2 girls, and dressed very much in what at the moment I saw. I was like, oh, they're like cosplaying, kinda. Okay, I see what's going on. But as you can see from the photo, it was not cosplaying. Literally, the Bella twins walked in, and they're just talking like conversations with each other, and they have some other people. Their cousin was there, and I think one of their reps. I wasn't sure about all the relationships in there. But like Brie comes right up to me and she's like, "Hi, I'm Brie Bell," and I'm like, "I'll be honest with you, I heard you 2 talking, so I knew which one you are. Otherwise, I would not." And both of the Bellas, honestly, we genuinely talked to about wrestling stuff, life stuff. They got a kick of the fact that I was there with my sister. They thought that was pretty cool. It's good, nice to see brothers and sisters right in life, stuff, friends, and me and my sister, we very much are. And that, you would think that would be enough. And I don't want to ever be that person who like, hey, can I get a photo? I hate that. I don't want to be that guy. So when they said, hey, you want to take some pictures? I'm like, yeah, sure. Why the hell not? Let's take some pictures. And I took some pictures. I posted them. I was psyched. And then I go outside. We find a seat for us. Like, it's great. One, for me, some of you that followed this channel for a long time, you definitely see the guy before you shrinking. And I was able to comfortably sit in the seats that were, stadium seats. Now, I know the seats up there are a little bit bigger, but, that's okay. I'm probably about only a year away from being where I want to be for the other stuff. But, as we're outside, like, very passively, I think my sister met with mine and says, oh, yeah, I heard them talking. Like, apparently there's some of their friends that come by. And in my head, I'm like, friends? I mean, I didn't expect, like, maybe I get one more. That'd be awesome. I get one more person I didn't know, or that I knew coming in. My sister gets up, and then she goes to get a drink or something, and she comes back, and she tells me that, I think the person you're a fan of is there. And, like, there's a couple of WWE, there's actually a lot of WWE is a big fan of. And I don't want to say my favorite women wrestlers, because I think that sounds disrespectful. But a couple of my favorite wrestlers, current active wrestlers in WWE, one of them is definitely Chelsea Green. I'm a fan of Major Wrestling Tide. I like that whole. I'm into it. And Megan's like, I think, and she's like, oh wait, no, it's a blonde. I'm like, I don't think that's Chelsea. So I walk in, and it's Maxine Dupree, who I also love because she does a lot of the other things outside of WWE, like Sheamus's Celtic Warrior workouts. My sister actually talked with her about him and said that she loved how you tried to kill Sheamus, and she got a kick out of it. And she's like, I'm going to tell Sheamus that. She was also on the Shotzi and Scarlett Haunted House podcast that they do. I know some of them are connected to WWE, some aren't. So I don't know kind of where that lands, but cool stuff. But when I walked in, yeah, Maxine Dupree was there. But so is Chelsea Green, like very randomly. I'm like, okay. But they're eating now, and they're talking, like, so again, I'm never going to be that dude. So I go inside, grab some stuff. I admittedly hang around a few minutes waiting to see if there's an opening. There wasn't. I go back outside watching the show. Fast forward, go back in maybe after like the fourth match, because I know Chelsea and Maxine left at some point. I know that's not their real name, but we're going to use their real names. Their wrestling name. Chelsea and Maxine left at some point. And when they came back, I happened to be back inside, and they were doing some photos, and the host in the room, not the guy who was take care of all of us, but the one who was from the DraftKings is actually where the promotion came from. Was in there, and like she's like, hey you guys, do I want to take some pictures? And they were super, yeah, sure, absolutely. And I got a chance to talk a little bit with Maxine and Chelsea, not nearly as much as they did with the Bellas, but they were super sweet. And I feel like I should have said this too, Natalia was also there. I didn't mention her right away, just because she was somebody I didn't really talk with. She did get in the photo and all that, and it was very cool seeing her. I do like Natalia. I actually was more of a fan of her father than I was a fan of Brett back in the day with the Heart Foundation. And then I got that photo with everybody, and it's not even the photo, like I think that's so cool, the one I have this thumbnail, but they were just hearing them talking, hanging out, BS, and they were doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Like I wasn't filming anything with that because that's disrespectful. I wouldn't do that. But like it was such an amazingly cool experience, and it was a phenomenal night. Like as much as everyone's loving, Brock Lesnar coming back or hating Brock Lesnar coming back, I guess I remain to see how that falls with what the allegations are. I'm not going to give anybody a pass for that sort of stuff. But I'd have to, we're going to remain sort of non-committal at the moment on that. But I'm also not going to lampoon it either, because I think WWE is smart enough. I know KTO, I'm butchering the acronym, TKO. They definitely wouldn't want to put himself in that situation. So I imagine they went through everything and they're like, okay, so they'll be okay. But I don't care about that. Let's talk about something night one. Night one was so good. You got, my sister was psyched because she's a big Drew McIntyre fan, and he won his match even though Logan Paul got the pin. She was okay with that. She didn't want to see him job to Jelly Roll, and he didn't. You had the opening match was fun, but that little moment of the eating after it already started and the music started replaying, I know some people bitched about that. I thought that was a lot of fun. And then obviously the very end, with Seth Rollins cashing in, was phenomenal. Like once you saw him come out, like again, it took a few minutes. But again, my biggest issue with that, it's always going to be the same thing. Punk kind of just waited for him to come back. He could just left. He could kicked him in the balls and got DQ'd. But that's wrestling. That's the storyline, and we are definitely open for some new stuff. But I will tell you, if you ever have a chance to go to a wrestling event, even excluding getting a suite and hanging out with wrestlers, it's a blast. I highly recommend you do it. And me and my sister were actually tempted to go back the next night, but we wouldn't have got a suite for that or anything. We would have bought tickets, but there were tickets on the floor for only $100. But ultimately, with work and other stuff, we decided we just watched at home. But I had such a good time, and they were so, like I said, the Bellas especially was just the sweetest. Genuine conversations. Like there was no "do you know who I am" type stuff going on. And again, Chelsea and Maxine seem that way too, but I'm not going to pretend I got the chance to interact with them nearly as much. But that is phenomenal, and I don't know why. I am you've seen me share some of my horror. Maybe I haven't. Maybe only those of you who know me on Facebook, but I've seen those. But I've gone to color cons. I have pictures with a lot of horror celebrities. I used to meet a lot of the Yankees and New Jersey Nets back in the day, New York Rangers back in the day at this place I used to hang out with, this pool hall. I never got taken aback by meeting someone famous. I don't know why. I think I got so thrown off when the Bellas came in, though. I think it's because it wasn't expected. Like, when you're going to a con and you're expecting, like, oh, I'm going to meet so-and-so, it's cool. Like, me and Joe Chalene last year was a huge check for me, and that might have been as close as I've came to sort of being a little nervous meeting somebody, just because you don't ever want your expectations ruined by them being kind of douchey. And she was anything but. But I did do a video on that one, so you can go back and watch it from Chilla last year, which I'm going back to this year. It's the longer video they're meant to be. I know I'm not showing off anything. A reminder, I do have that giveaway running in my last video, just hashtag late checkout. And again, by the end of the month, I'm going to run sort of the random comment pick. That's why you have to do hashtag late checkout. If you've already posted and haven't done that, just go back and edit. That's fine. You know, still pick it up. But anyway, folks, thanks for checking out my video. Those of you that are looking for the horror stuff, do not worry. I have 2 phenomenal masks coming. They'll be shipped this week, so maybe look for the video next week. But as you can see from a little bit on the walls around me, I'm definitely got into the mask vibe. Till next time, peace.